Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of Sileo, Tales of a New Dawn. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the newest version earlier, you can go to their Patreon, where it's $5 a month or $54 a year. So, now on the last Let's Play, we continue traveling along and told about our backstory, where, single parent, and then learned about Ty's backstory, where only his grandma took care of him. Sad. But, yeah, it do be like that sometimes. And then we got to our camping spot, but now we have to go get firewood, because the person that went to carry the firewood up here fell into the river, and all the logs are moist. So, now we're out getting stuff. Reset face. And begin. As the two of us wandered through the woods side by side, I realized that I didn't have a proper idea of the sorts of things needed to start a fire. So, forgive my ignorance, but what exactly are we hoping to find out here? And how do we know when we found it? Well, I guess it would be like, you need something that would burn real quickly. Like, I'm not sure what you'd find out here. Maybe you do that thing where you get like a bow and you go whoosh, 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 and then it does the thing with friction. Or I guess you don't need to do that. You can do it by scraping two bits of wood together in a way. But I guess you'd need like wood flakes or strips or something like that, and then you'd put do a sticks, then finally logs. Ty stopped dead in his tracks, sniffing the air once again. He turned towards me, his expression somewhat run out of patience, of someone who had run out of patience. I know this is sudden, but I want to ask you something, and this is going to sound strange. Huh? Oh, sure. Would you be uncomfortable if I checked your scent? What? Wait, what? Why? Please, I need you to humor me just this once. I did. Did he think that I was the source of the strange scent he kept catching? No way. Wouldn't have recognized it myself anyway. Is it because I didn't shower after I swam? I was confused, but I did not see a good reason to refuse Ty's request. Okay, what do you need me to do? Just hold still. Ty quickly knelt down and began sniffing around my waist. He worked his way backward. Waist? Okay, sniffing around my tail and butt. He spent quite some time in the general area before his search brought him back to the front. At which point he's like, "You haven't wiped your arse." His pattern seemed to work in a wide circle, gradually locking onto a specific area, the exact position of my junk. His nose grew closer and closer until I could feel it brushing against it through my pants. Finally, he reached his hand up, slipping a claw beneath the waistband of my underwear, before pulling it outward and inhaling deeply. His eyes seemed... You might not be able to hear it because of, like, my audio levels, but he's, growling in a way. Or, yeah. His eyes seemed to drift out of focus, and he emitted a deep, low growl. I was beginning to grow at least a little concerned. Thankfully, he would regain his senses somewhat, after only a few moments, and then stood back up. I knew it. I knew that was you I could smell. Geez, that bad, huh? I'm sorry. I guess I thought, what with camping and all, that I was gonna smell no matter what it did. I guess I should have had a shower after all. What? Oh dear, Adrian. I did not mean to imply that you'd stink or anything. Quite the contrary. I find your various different scents to be rather pleasant. Eh? What do you mean various? I first picked it up when we were walking. The wind must have blown from just the right angle, and I got a noseful. It seemed out of place somehow, because I could have sworn it was the sudden arousal. Thinking back, I remembered that I'd gotten into slightly aroused long before he first picked up on something. But how? There's no way, surely. How could you tell? How could you know that? Oh man, how embarrassing. I really hope Axel was telling the truth. Surely your nose cannot be that much better than mine. On the contrary, it is my understanding that between the four of us, yours should have reigned supreme. But it is quite normal for the brain to tune out one's own scent. I'm not surprised he didn't notice. Then what about Axel? If he could smell me, surely he could too. Now, I could only speculate, but I would not expect our noses to differ greatly in terms of their capabilities. However, a lack of sensory exposure, or training if you will, could provide that explanation. What do you mean? Perhaps canids work a little differently, but for us felids, well, is it felids? Let me explain it like this. No matter how many clouds are in the sky, they will never only ever mimic the only they will only ever mimic the shapes of that which are already familiar. What? Ah, apologies. Such riddles rarely stick the landing. An untrained nose is little better than static on an old TV set. You have you have to already know what it is that you're looking for. And you knew that scent belonged to me? It was one of the very few possibilities, but I did not know for sure until only moments ago. I see. And that's how you confirmed it. I take it you have an easier time recognizing me next time? I certainly expect so, and eagerly look forward to it. Tyne shared her smile, and I thought about all that I had learned. Thinking back, the only scent I could properly recall from Ty's was that of his cologne. I was unfamiliar with Ty's natural scents, and now I felt as though I was missing out. Is there something the matter, my dear? I guess it dawned me just how little I actually use my nose. The way you make it sound, I've been missing out. Well then, might I promise a small contest? Huh? Here, take these. They should help even the playing field somewhat. Ty reached up to his face and removed his sunglasses before handing them to me. Confused, I put them on my face. For some reason, now I'm thinking of those sunglasses, I'm like, that's, he's like, I'm a detective or something like that. Or he's from the government. It isn't that bright, you know. That looks a good look for you, Adrian. But that is not why I gave them to you. Oh? I sheepfully take off his glasses off, turn them over in my hands. What else does he want to do with those pair of sunglasses? Sniff them. Might I suggest that you give them a good sniff? Oh, right. Duh. That train of thought. I held Ty's glasses up to my nose and inhaled deeply. I was trying to mimic that thing. Reset face. There we go. I processed for a moment. I sensed something. I inhaled again. This time, the scent coming through a little more clearly. Huh. I exhaled, flattening my lungs before committing to a long, steady inhale. Was this it? Was this Thai scent? Did I have it? And he was thinking, you spent so long down there just because you're a horny bastard. It actually kind of works that way, huh? Oh dear, I am insulted that you think so lowly of me. Although I may have enjoyed an extra moment or two at your expense. I fucking knew it. You were nosing my balls for the thrill of it. Well then, perhaps, if you win, you'll have the opportunity to return the favor. I plan on doing a lot more than that. My curiosity is certainly piqued, although perhaps you would like to know what we are doing first. Go on, then. The objective is simple. Think of it like a game of hide-and-seek, with a twist. You close your eyes and count to 30. and I'll hide somewhere close by. You then have 3 minutes to find me. What? How am I supposed to do that? Nose. You have an item bearing my scent. Use it. Track me. You do not forget about your other senses either. You'll be needing them if you wish to find me in time. I didn't like how he ended that sentence. I swallowed OWO nervously. A tiger versus a husky hardly seemed fair, especially with orange shoes in the early evening. And just what did he mean by in time? What happens after 3 minutes? I begin hunting you. The winner is the first to capture the other. How that is achieved matters not. Winner takes all. OWO. Winner takes all? What does that even mean? It means whatever the winner wants it to. I knew this was a bad idea. Even with a 3-minute head start, how was I supposed to track him down? I could barely track my own breakfast, let alone a tiger who actively wishes not to be found. We're really doing this, huh? Is this not a good opportunity to find out just what you've been missing? I sighed. Tai seemed intent on playing his games with me. I strongly doubted this was going to go well, but what the hell? Okay, I'm closing my eyes. See you soon, my dear. As I silently counted the seconds in my mind, I heard Tai's footsteps travel further and further away, until I could no longer make them out. As my counting continued, I held Tai's sunglasses up to my nose and began working to acquire a scent. I sniffed repeatedly as I turned and rotated the glasses, making sure I got every angle. 28, 29, 30. I opened my eyes. Tai was nowhere to be seen, as expected, but from what I had heard, I was all but certain he had started out traveling northeast. Thus I began heading in that very same direction. While walking, I made sure that my nose was constantly sniffing, hoping to pick up something familiar. At first, it almost seemed pointless, my nose completely failing to return any useful information. But then, the very same scent I had acquired from the sunglasses. It traveled directly south from my position. Huh, what do you know? Tai. Perhaps Tai was really into something here, onto. I began to follow the scent, moving briskly to avoid wasting precious time. A mistake that would only cost me more when I had to double back and reacquire the trail. I followed more carefully as the scent turned a hard right around a rotting tree trunk and down a small dip of terrain. The scent had grown stronger. I couldn't have been far behind. I continued to follow the scent as the scent snaked around, almost as though Tai were trying to shake me loose in my pursuit. Nice try, I thought to myself, as the scent led through a thick patch of tangled undergrowth. This music. It kind of makes me think of, like, older games from, like, I don't know, Nintendo 64 or something? But only slightly. Maybe PlayStation? Things were going well. That was, until I reached a position near the middle of the coarse shrub. Its scent almost seemed as though it went in every direction, all at once. It took me a moment to process what my nose was telling me. He had deliberately scrambled his path, walking in jagged loops and uneven shapes, making turns at sharp and unpredictable angles, all while deliberately crossing his own path many, many times over. I looked around nervously, scared that he would use my confusion to catch me unaware. I did not know how much time had passed, but if he wasn't already hunting me, he certainly would be very soon. Thankfully, I saw no trace of him. I stood still and held my breath, listening for any sounds that could possibly have belonged to him. But all I could hear was the sound of the forest's residents, chirping and singing away among the treetops. Having exhausted my options, I fell back on my nose as I sniffed frantically around my immediate vicinity, picking up desperate and mismatching fragments, disparate? Anyways, of Ty's path. Each one more contradictory than the rest. I focused carefully on the information my nose had gleaned, desperately trying to extract some vague clue from all this confusion. And then I finally saw it. A path that circled around my position in a wide arc before it sharply turned inward, before becoming muddled and unclear. Whatever Ty had done had forged a poorly defined path right through the intersection of the others. It served to bend in with the sensory noise, creating more of a confusion as it quietly slipped away, content in having not drawn any attention to itself as it did. It was a cunning trick, one that I was proud to have been bested. I could not help but wear a smug grin as I honed in on the new path, following it through more and more of the twisted vegetation, until it came to an abrupt halt among a dense patch of trees. I sniffed around, desperately trying to regain the scent. Alas, my efforts bore no fruit. It seemed as though he had vanished completely, in the very spot right at the foot of this tall tree? Come on. I felt a chill run down my spine as he watched me from above, poised to pounce at the moment's notice. Despite being nearly paralyzed in fear, I forced myself to keep moving and to not alert him that his cover had been blown. I scratched my chin, doing the very best to appear clueless and lost. All the while, my ears were perked right up, waiting for any sound that could possibly forewarn an attack. I wouldn't be waiting long. The sound of a snapping branch propelled me into action as I threw my entire body towards where Ty had pounced from. Just barely slipping beneath him as it twisted in midair in a desperate attempt to compensate for my evasion. She was trying to pounce on him, or slip. Ouch! I picked myself up from the ground, brushing the debris from my clothing, as the dirt kicked up by Ty's sudden impact slowly settled. Ty was trying to climb to his feet. It seemed to be encountering some difficulties doing so. I think it's less he tried to pounce on us and more that he fell. His red sweater vest, which had become snagged and loose on a loose branch, was pulled over his head and away from his body as he struggled in place. It seemed as though he had become snagged, and was half-naked boots. I saw golden opportunity. Cautiously I approached, wary of an entrapment, and poised for evasion. But Ty remained in place, seemingly having accepted his demise. I knelt beside him, my doubt slowly giving way to a smug sense of satisfaction once again. Animated sequences are enabled. You're about to enter an animated sequence. This is... Sorry, system menu request or cost. I think I have 32 gigabytes. If any entries, animated sequence can be disabled under the preferences. It does seem to be a bit slow, though. I'm not sure if it's because it's just how it's animated or if my computer's doing that thing where it's like, so you want to run this on the integrated graphics card instead of like the graphics card? Anyways, well then, looks like I won. Sure does seem that way. I was almost certain I would have thrown you off my trail long before you found my hiding place. You did well. Thanks. You were right. That was actually very enlightening. We should do this again someday, but I think we had best getting back to the matter at hand. Sunset can't be far off, and you still haven't found what we need to start the fire. Indeed, you are quite right. Ty shifted in place. This is when I noticed that both of his arms had become tightly ensnared by the very same welded and twisted undergrowth that had carpeted the forest floor as far as the eye could see. He's entangled in vines? I didn't suppose I could trouble you for some assistance. I was about to oblige, laying in and helping him loose. Like, how do you do that, anyways? That was until I remembered something he had said before the hunt had begun. Come to think of it, you never said, were clear on what the winner takes all constituted. Oh, well, I'd hope, well, I'd wish to get a little more close and personal with that delightful scent you carry. Close and personal, eh? And here I was thinking we were taking things slow. Yes, you are right. I apologize for that implication. Mind you, I anticipated that you would win. So, there's no harm, right? It was blatantly obvious that Ty was trying to bluff his way out of the situation. I wasn't buying it. I think the opportunity is opposite true. I don't think he expected to lose. Adrian, I had nothing but the utmost faith in you, that I swear. I don't believe that for a second, but the fact remains, I am the winner, and you know that. Yes, or you know what? Winner takes all. Oh dear. I wrapped my fingers around the waistband of Ty's pants, making sure to dig my claws in just enough that it hurt. Then, I leaned in forward and put my mouth near his ear, whispering my next words. Just enough that it hurt? Sedania seems fitting. What? That's your safe word. But you're tougher than that, right? I'm sure you won't be needing it. Ty whimpered ever so slyly, but otherwise remained totally silent. I counted down from 30 for the second time that afternoon, giving Ty plenty of time to be a coward. But perhaps he was even more brave than I'd give him credit for. Or perhaps the predator, somewhere deep down, didn't mind being the prey for once in a while. Nevertheless, he played his rigged game, clutching victory from the jaws of defeat. And now, I was looking to exact my revenge. Ty began removing his pants, sliding them over his I began removing Ty's glutes, and then down his thick, muscular thighs before they finally came loose. Granted, their freedom from the tyranny of their cunning and fiendish wearer. His underwear adhered very closely to the more gentlemanly of his features, emphasizing the perfection of his suddenly crafted backside, and securely cradling his flawless manhood. I basked in the glory of such mercy, but only for a moment, for my patience had already run dry. Bwahahaha! I must say, that's a tremendous look for you, Adrian. You gotta come clean. You're seriously not stuck the entire time? Indeed, I was most curious to see how you take advantage of the invitation. And oh my, You certainly did not disappoint. Wait, did you lose on purpose? Well, you successfully tracked your prey. How could I rightly refuse you the fruits of your labor? And it would seem you have even found your inner beast, complete with a helm and everything. And what a beast you are, my dear. I believed you delivered a performance of a lifetime. It couldn't possibly be any more satisfied. Are you even standing up right now? Did that not hurt like hell? What can I say? It's all a part of the experience. And what experience it was. Was it really that good? Best I've had, hands down. I'm really glad to hear that, because now we're both on the same page. Truly, when was that? Last Saturday, yes? Did you really think so? I do. Imagine. Made in heaven, surely. Although, I must ask, do you feel okay? Is everything fine? What do you mean? I feel great. You haven't been feeling strange recently, or anything like that? No? Should I have been? What's all this about? Never mind. I just knew you could be so feral. Never knew you could be so feral, is all. I'm quite taken with that side of you. Now then, we can now return to the others without cleaning ourselves up a bit first. There's a stream nearby. We can rinse ourselves off. Oof, that's twice a day I've dipped into cold rivers. Well, unless you'd like to shower, show your friends your creamy compilation. No, cold-ass water is... Oh, wait, shit. We didn't get the supplies for the fire. Oh, Adrian, you're truly going to despise me for this. For what? Oh, you see, there's a spare set of my backpack at camp. Wait, so this whole diversion was because my scent made you horny? Are you serious? Tide broke into an uncontrollable fit of laughter as he conspicuously waddled in the direction of the stream. I cited a mixture of disbelief and amusement. I sighed in a mixture, unable to conceal my bewildered smile. Well played, conniving house cat. And I think with that, we're going to cut it because we're well over time. So, please comment, because I like comments, tell me you like, dislike, tips, as always. If you like YouTube and like Secret, then please like, subscribe, and check out the videos and please remember to stay near animals that control the pet population. And if you want to play this game, it's available free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the news version earlier, you can go to Patreon, which is $5 a month. I'm going to drink this tea here and watch the stream. And until next time, $54 a year? Yeah. And until next time, let's play me, GamerWolfSix. Sileo 2 is the new done. I think we're just at Spain area animals. But yeah, do that. Thanks and see ya.